Hi, my name is Mikael Olesen. I'm one of the managing directors in Olesen Advisors. Olesen is an M&A advisory firm specializing exclusively in the logistics and transportation industry. As we enter the new year, 2022, I would like to give a brief overview of what we expect for the coming year. 2021 was a very exciting year for mergers and acquisitions within our industry. We saw a massive uptick after a slow 2020. This was sparked in great deal by the fact that most companies, freight forwarders, customs brokers, trucking companies, carriers all did really well in 2021. And that gave them an opportunity to look at growing through acquisitions. We saw also the financial buyers entering the arena and with a keen interest in this specific industry. So with both financial and strategic buyers very active, it became a seller's market simply because of supply and demand. There were just more buyers than there were sellers, which again increased the valuations for companies that did go to market. We saw the same trend in Europe and in Asia and other parts of the world, where we saw some major deal activity in 2021. We expect this to continue for 2022. We believe that there's a moment in time right now. We believe that we are at the peak. We don't know how long the peak is going to be, but we do think that it's going to last for probably throughout the year and maybe a bit longer. There are a lot of business owners out there that are considering now whether they want to continue investing into their companies or whether now is the time for them to exit or even accelerate their exit plans and go to market. It's a rough operational environment right now, a lot of supply chain disruptions, a hard time finding staff, retaining staff, etc. And frankly, we talk to a lot of business owners that are becoming quite fatigued. And at the same time, we're seeing a generational shift where a lot of the owners and entrepreneurs started and founded their companies in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s even, and don't necessarily have someone to turn over their companies to, are also considering exiting now due to the favorable conditions in the market. We see the same thing in Europe and Asia, and we are starting to see more companies overseas looking toward the US for opportunities, and vice versa, also US companies looking overseas, Asia, Europe, and other places for opportunities there. So we expect more activity across the waters for 2022. There are, of course, a lot of unknown factors, COVID being one of the big ones, but we believe that we have learned to handle COVID, or at least live with it, and still continue doing business despite COVID. Talks about inflation, increasing interest rates. Again, we don't believe that it's going to have any significant impact on the M&A activity for the coming year. Supply chain disruptions probably here to stay for the main part of 2022 and maybe even throughout the year. Looking at Europe also, I was just there and talking to people over there. They don't foresee any major disruptions either. The economies are generally strong in Western Europe, and they don't foresee any looming recessions or major financial downturns. So overall, a strong market for 2022 on the M&A side, and we continue to recommend to companies, if they're considering exiting within the next 2, 3, 5 years, maybe consider moving that time frame up, because now is a good time to go to market, and we don't know how long it's going to continue like that. So we wish you all a great 2022. We hope to be working with you, and wish you a happy new year.